So quite simply, the environment's our supply chain, if you think about it. And so what's good for nature is good for water. So we wanted to have a look at the fact that we're a West Midlands headquartered business. And it felt like all three of those things came together, that we could be a supporter of the first ever nature and carbon neutral Commonwealth Games. What an amazing thing. And to do it, we can create a legacy, an incredible forest, like a green hug around Birmingham, that so many of our customers love nature, particularly after lockdown. What a great opportunity to create a legacy and to do something lovely next year. So the last 12 months has taught us one thing, is that actually we're quite a lot greener and are quite a lot more reliant on nature than we ever really realised in our soul. And there's so much research being done about the link between mental health and access to greenery. And as you say, yet, if you look at the difference between who has access to green land and who doesn't, it's quite stark. And so Birmingham is quite a mixed setup. So to create extra 72 kind of Commonwealth forests in urban areas, I think it's just going to be delicious. Like an area that maybe is overgrown or a bit run down, suddenly to end up with your lovely own Commonwealth forest, I think it's really special. Yeah, so basically we've got to first of all identify the 2022 acres of land that we can actually get access to and say, right, can we create, forest land? We've then got to work with and making sure we get the right trees. So in order to create the right legacy, you want native British species of trees. So we need to get access to the right trees and working with the right NGOs and the right partners to say, let's do it. We've then, of course, going to need some volunteers to help us with this fantastic task. We've got our own army of Severn Trent volunteers, but we're going to want to make this feel like a shared situation that everyone can get involved in. We know we all love something more. We've played a hand in it. And then, of course, through all that, we've then got to make sure that what we create is a location and a setup that has the possibility to become even greater as time goes, as the trees get bigger, as the wildflowers get prettier, as people get more used to the space. It's got to evolve and adapt, hasn't it, to be something that people say, that is a really special location for me to go to. I'd say a good mixture. So I think, and whether it's, I think certainly that's what we'll find when we look at the early plans, is there's going to be a good mixture. And I think generically across the games, there'll be some short-term jobs, I think, for the West Midlands, won't there, in terms of getting ready for the games. I think there'll be jobs during the games, volunteers and permanent, across the piece ourselves and elsewhere. And I think what will happen then is actually, if you can create tourism, and that's what if you look at Sherwood Forest, it creates tourism, it creates a destination. And that's what we think can happen with the Commonwealth Forest, is to have something like that. It's an extra big addition to the Birmingham landscape. And we know that over time, that brings with it investment. So I think for the moment, watch this space for volunteers before they turn up brilliantly willingly a week Monday. And we're like, okay, we've not yet got it ready. So watch this space, but we'll keep everyone involved in the comms. In terms of time windows, we want to be planting. You can only plant trees certain times of the year, as everyone knows. So we need to be planting in that time of the year, which is autumn. So this autumn, we need to be really getting that land ready to literally in the next few months to be planting. So definitely, if you're thinking, what should I do in the autumn? Then we'd love volunteers in autumn. That's for certain. So I think, I don't think we'll get every last tree. And I think the reality is that you want to actually evolve a patch to create something of this size and scale. You don't want to rush into it and do all of it in one planting season. You wouldn't get it right. So what we've got to do is have all the be able to identify where is the green hug going to go, and to begin making a massive step change this year. And I suspect it'll probably be a 3-year project, I would imagine, to bring it to its full fruition. And then you get the lovely legacy of a 30, 50, 100-year journey when we get to see it grow to its full potential. So when I was a little child, I can remember going for those walks that used to go for in local forest near where I grew up in Yorkshire. And that kind of special moment of the swish of the trees, the crunch of the leaves under the feet, and thinking that is just one of those special weekend activities that you do, is you go for a family dog walk. And I love the fact that I had access to nature. And I'm super conscious of how lucky I was to grow that access. And I really hope that on Monday, there'll be lots of people, of our customers, that say, wow, more land, I love it, I would love nature. And I hope there're going to be a whole load of our customers that say, actually, I don't have access to much green land. I would love to have more ready access. And I hope that both of those two feelings make for a real sense of excitement that there are so many special things happening in the West Midlands. And this is an extra one that we can make happen. And how joyous is that, to be honest?